Hello there, current or future homeowner. It is the second weekend of February and it is time to start tackling some of the spring maintenance. We're going to start here on the utility box side of the house. We've got the front office area there, but we're going to leave that for later. That's a bigger project of taking out those purple loropetalums there that are larger than that size. They want to be larger than that size there allows them to get, so we're going to move those and put in a smaller variety. We've already pruned on that camellia. You prune on things after they flower, so that was done a couple of months ago. And this is the area we're going to get into today. We've got the curly wax leaf ligustrum there and a few more around the side here. Down below we've got the Suntastic Radiance Abelia. Now that's brand new. That was put in September of 2025. This is February of 26. These curly wax leaves were put in April of 2022. We're gonna make our way around here. Got some more of the Suntastic Radiance Abelias here. So, these are just 3 gallons that were put in toward the end of last season. The main thing was just to get them through a bit of a drought last fall and this winter. So we were just babying them just a little bit, keeping an eye on them. Did you have to get the water hose on them a little bit because we were so dry last fall. We didn't want to lose them, but we just wanted to maintain them, and so they're going to get much bigger here. And then down below, you can't see it, it's pretty much died back. There is some Homestead Purple Verbena in here, so I'll capture that once it starts to come back out. I did put in some tall mondo grass, which the rabbits or the deer, don't know which ones, have come by and said thank you. They've nibbled on that. Back behind this wax leaf is I have a list here of the things that are out here and I'm trying to find it on my list. I don't know. This may be something that I have not properly labeled in its location. Believe that is Peach Perfect Abelia. So 2 different Abelias, very different growth habit. This is much tighter, more of a ball habit. That one gets taller and wider, and it's probably stretching a little bit. But this is what the before looks like on all of this stuff before I prune it back. Let's come around here to this side. Just another repeat there of the Radiance Abelia from the Suntastic series. So I think there's what have we seen so far? 4 of those in here. They've got that variegated look to it, so hopefully it'll brighten up this space when it's in the shade. It's only in the shade in the morning time. Oh, there's some of that verbena down there that's been killed back from the frost. So you'll see how that pops back out in later videos. Do have some white muhly grass that I've put in here. I don't know if that's gonna stay there, but it's there for now. Another curly wax leaf, and then we get into the rosemary. And yeah, I think this is another rosemary that I planted before I kind of realized I needed to keep a list of where stuff was. I believe this might be Tuscan Hill rosemary. So we're gonna clip it back a little because it's gonna have new growth on it here for the spring. So we're gonna give it a little bit of a trim. I think that's the same. I think I got 3 Tuscan Hill rosemaries in here. That's a little Mexican ponytail grass there. Had 3 or 4 in here. That's the only one that survived. Don't really know what happened to the others. Another curly wax leaf. And then me see if I have these on here. Don't know if I have them listed. No, I don't think I have them. I think that's the Juncus Dart. I don't think it's in the grass family. Might be the sedge family. There's a rosemary back there. Here's one. I really kind of wanted to divide these. I attempted to divide this one last year. They are well rooted into the ground. You can see where I got down in there and kind of broke this one up. You know, I'm trying to just make more with what I've got. So, you know, I'd really like to be able to dig these up, split them, and fill this whole area in with more of those, or move some to other areas. But they really are in there good. We'll just see. We'll see if I'm feeling froggy and want to get in there with a shovel and try to do that today or some other time. We'll just have to wait and see. The main thing is I really want to get just some of the spring maintenance taken care of on these. This is, I think it's strawberry Sunday hydrangea. And I just need to get in there and cut back this guy here, get rid of these spent blooms that have been here for the winter. The deer like to come by and nibble on this when it's growing. They didn't do too bad a number on it last year. And I know the sun is, we're walking around the edge of the house here, so the sun's coming out, but this is that bed that I'm wanting to reshape. You know, instead of having this snaky path that almost mirrors each other on both sides, I kind of want to get rid of this curve a little bit and just have this edge come right on around and then just curve out over to the AC units there. That was the original plan, but it just didn't get cut in that way from the folks that were doing that for me. A couple more rosemaries I tucked in here to try to keep this a little more green during the winter time. You know, when these hydrangeas and butterfly bushes die back, it can get kind of you know, kind of look dead looking, just looks like sticks. So I threw some rosemary in here and some hollies. Let's see, what else? What do we got in here? We've got some Hugendorn Japanese hollies. There might be a soft touch Japanese holly in here as well. Looks like there's two soft touches, two Hugendorn Japanese hollies. The Hugendorns are going to be a little bit bigger. Back over here, I don't know how well you can see that. That is a Party Lights tea olive. Purchased in 2022, and that's not the original location for it. Originally, that was up on the Leyland cypress berm, and I think I moved it because it just wasn't growing fast enough for me. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It might be in more shade than it wants to be in. It really has like 3 colored leaves, new growth on it. It's looking pretty green right now, but it's also not really showing any new growth on it, but we'll see what happens with that. I was actually concerned it was going to get tall and reach up to the edge of the roof line there, but it's pretty much just sat there. But this could be the year where it leaps on me. We might have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, this guy down here, I don't want to guess at that. Again, that was put in before I kind of updated my list. And I've got 2 pages worth of plants I got to go back and kind of figure out, okay, where did I put you? I did a good job, I guess, going back to about 2022, keeping up with what was purchased. Just didn't necessarily do a great job of keeping up with where it got planted. But here, this is Pugster Blue Butterfly Bush. There's 2 of them here. One there, one right over there. We got a, I believe it's a Black Magic Diamond Crepe Myrtle right there with white blooms when it blooms out. And then I really wanted a 3rd Pugster Blue but I couldn't find one when I was looking, and I ended up putting in a different buddleia, a butterfly bush. This is the Buzz Hot Raspberry. This one says it was put in 22. So the Buzz Hot Raspberry was put in June of 2022. But these buddleias are part of the original plan. So those were put in August of 2020. Down below at the base of the crepe myrtle, we've got some St. John's wort. Gonna give that a little pruning. You see here underneath the other buddleia, butterfly bush, we got some tall mondo grass. Another one of those rosemaries, and then we get into the limelight hydrangeas. They are a smaller variety. Those were part of the original plan. Those are gonna get pruned back. Got two here, third one there. I think I've lost one or two over the years. Don't know why, but they just didn't survive. More St. John's wort, more rosemary down in there. Let's see. I've got two pancake arborvitaes over here to the right of the camera. I'm going to show you. I don't see that I have this one properly labeled as to what that is. Oh, no, there it is. Dwarf Japanese cedar. That's what we're looking at right there. Dwarf Japanese cedar. It says I bought two of those. I don't see another one in here. Interesting. Okay. So here's the steps leading over to the water faucet in the backyard here. Here's your pancake arbor. What did I say? Pancake. Yeah, arborvitae. We got two of those. So 1 and 2. And did I label the grasses that I put in here? Those were just put in last year. Yeah, looks like I did not do a good job of labeling those. Don't remember what those three grasses are. All right, and then back, based on the original plan, we've got some variegated monkey grass or liriope. Jump around here and step back into this area. There's also a Chef's Choice rosemary. Kind of got a little abused. Well, I don't know, we abused it. I don't know. It just didn't grow out very full. It has been moved around a couple of times. This is its current home. Here you can see the St. John's wort. And there's also some golden oregano. You can't really see it real well right now, but I'll get around there to show that to you. The St. John's wort can be a bit of a bully. It does like to move around, so I'm gonna give it a good cut back. If I have time, I may move some around to other parts of the yard. But this is gonna be the section that I'm gonna tackle first. Of course, there's the coral bark maple. Come around here. Yeah, gotta cut back that variegated liriope. It doesn't hold up, doesn't look great at the end of the season and going into winter, but you want to get that cut back before new growth starts to occur. So let's swap over here and I can show you some of that golden oregano. So it's not golden right now, it's just green, but that will turn yellow once it starts into its new growth. I gotta pull some of that back away from the house there. Got some more down in here that you can see. So, all right, time to suit up, time to get the gear out and crank up the podcast and get moving on this. I'll get you some after shots and some in-betweens here in a little bit. All right, let's talk about the tools we're gonna be using today. Got the yard cart, got the bucket. Bucket's really for the liriope. It's probably diseased. It's probably got something growing on it, cirrhosis, something. So I'm not gonna leave that in the bed once I trim it. I'm gonna cut it, dump it in this bucket, and go dump it in a pile somewhere where it won't just continue to reinfect that liriope over and over again. Of course, I got the gloves, got some sunglasses, also for eye protection. I don't know that I'm gonna need the big giant lopper, but you know what? We might not be hunting bear today, but we're gonna go prepared for bear. So got the loppers here in the cart, got the hori knife just in case. I know I'll be using the shears here to cut back on things. Don't know if I need the handheld pruning saw, but gonna take it around there just in case. And yep, we'll be using the small pruners as well. So I think that's what I need. Thankfully, if I forget anything, it's just a short walk back to the garage. All right, let's get going. All right, here's the before on this Radiant Abelia. Again, it was just planted 3 gallon in September. Here we are in February. Just gonna give it a light haircut with the shears. All right, there's the after. Just a little ball. I don't really do that to too many things, but this is not even a year old in the ground, and I just wanted to give it a little prune all over to stimulate some growth on it. Take you around here to the back. There was a really low limb hanging down off the wax leaf ligustrum that I took out down there. Cut that one out way down there at the base. Not zoomed in on that, you can't see it. I do have an old miscanthus grass here. Need to dig that up and put it somewhere else, but it's here for now. I went ahead and cut it back. There's some more of the abelias. That being the Radiance. This one being the Peach Perfect. So it's kind of gotten a wonky haircut. I felt like it was a little leggy, it was stretching. I just wanted to kind of cut it back in places, encourage some new growth on it. We'll see what we get. I can always prune more on it later. Let's jump through the bed here. Come out the other side. Give you a little shot of that one. Coming around here. We pruned on this one as well. Didn't touch the wax leaf, the gustrums. I'm not quite ready to prune on those. I've got a vision, but just want to wait. They haven't bloomed yet. Which is kind of odd. I want them to see them bloom first before I do anything to them, really. I did prune on the rosemary here. Hopefully you can't tell. That's the whole point. Kind of took some of these out. You know, I didn't do a ball prune job on these. I just found some of the growth that was coming up selectively, every 4th or 5th one, and just kind of cut them back down into the plant. Now, one thing that I do, I don't haul all this off unless it's diseased. If it's okay, I just cut it up and drop it. It's just going to get covered up with the mulch, and that's just extra mulch for the plants. That stuff will die and decompose and feed the plants. So no need to get rid of the free fertilizer. And that's what I did with everything. The Abelia trimmings just stayed in place. I don't let them sit in the plant. If I cut something and it falls right down into the middle, I pull it out and throw it over on the side underneath it, somewhere like that. But I've already pruned all those items. Pruned on this one as well. It's not a super big haircut. Just wanted to get some of those down away from the window a little bit, thin it out just a little bit. I'll prune that up rosemary any time of year if I feel like it. It's not gonna hurt it at all. I do need to get over here now and trim back the hydrangeas. So I'm going to do that with the shears. Not going to get super particular about it and look for a nodule or a node there and trim right above it, because then that's where the new growth is going to come out. I'm just going to get in here and I'm going to whack it back. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and there was a time where I would pull out the hand pruners and I would go one by one, agonizing over it. I am no longer that person. The deer helped me get over that, because as soon as I spend way more time on this than is necessary, and I think it's just perfect, the deer are gonna come along and say, thank you. We think it's perfect too. We're gonna nibble on it. So no reason to spend more time on this than you're gonna benefit from. I'm just gonna whack it back with the shears. And then if there's a limb here or there that needs a special attention, I'll get it with the hand pruners. So let's take care of that. We'll just step back here, get you a good before shot, and now we'll go to pruning. All right, there we go. These two hydrangeas, strawberry sundays, have been cut back. Just whacked away with the shears. I had maybe 3 cuts to clean up that were a little gnarly. Clean those up and everything's just fine. Here's the second one. Just cutting it back. Bit of a ball shape. These hydrangeas bloom on new growth, so those do need to be cut back every year. And then while I was at it, I just hit the top of this rosemary as well. Might have gotten 1 or 2 sprigs of that Hugendern holly there. It's got a little cleanup from the hydrangea there laying on it. I'll clean all that up later. A little mess there in the border. I'll blow that back in. It'll just get mulched right over. Remember, I'm not cutting back the butterfly bushes until they start to sprout some new growth. It might be as late as May, if I'm remembering correctly. So we're gonna leave those alone. So now we're gonna get over here on this other side and start working. We'll get you another before view here of the St. John's wort. You can see where the winter's been rough on it. Killed some of it back, it's browned out. If I didn't touch it, it would just pop right back out, bloom right back, and grow right back from where it is. But I'm gonna give it a cut because I really don't want it to get quite this big. I don't want it to get any bigger. It is one thing that I might trim on during the year, during the growing season, just to keep it under a little more control. Here's a good close-up. Then you can just see, you know, when it's new and young, it's smaller, cuter. And it does get a little leggy, a little long in the tooth. But let's see what we're gonna do to this. Let's cut it back. All right, so one more tool of the trade being used today. Industrial strength knee pads. So I originally bought those when I was laying all this stone edging all the way around the house, because it didn't take long for me to realize I don't have young knees anymore. And so I can't remember how much these were, but they weren't super expensive. I want to say they were definitely less than maybe $25. I don't know. They were very reasonable. Sent the money to Uncle Jeff. Jeff shipped them to me overnight, or 2 days, whatever, prime delivery. And they have been awesome. I use them anytime I'm spending a lot of time down on my knees, whether it be pruning, edging, repotting plants in other pots. Anytime I find myself down on my knees for an extended period, those help big time. All right, it might not look like it, but I have hacked away at all the St. John's wort, just leaving it in place. Probably get the blower out here and blow some of this back in a little bit and blow some of it off the plants that are still here. But I have hacked at it and chopped it back. Might be a little bit better angle there. Now I'm going to jump over there on that edge and trim up the golden oregano and the liripe. Here's a quick look close-up of the liripe. Here's your before, and there's the after. Just a nice, tidy little haircut. And onward to the next one. I think if I zoom in there, you can see the brown, diseased foliage. Easy word for me to say on that one. That's what we're cutting away, dropping in the bucket, and disposing of, not leaving that in the bed to continue to pass along year after year after year. All right, well that really does take care of things on that side. From the master bath, bedroom, and utility side of the house, I'm showing you there was one variegated liripe there that I trimmed back. Did not touch the tall mondo grass. It doesn't like to be cut back a lot. I'm gonna leave it for now. We do have 3 or 4 variegated liripes in here that are being eaten by the tall mondo grass, but I got in there and cut those out. Have a few more right along here, edging this part of the patio. And then that one that I showed you the close-up of, and then there's 2 or 3 more down in there. You'll really get to see it better once everything starts to spring back to life. Funny enough, in the springtime. Let's see. Other than maybe hitting this with the blower and blowing stuff off the patio back into the bed, again, I'm just gonna let this stuff sit here. Just gonna let it mulch in place. Not going through the effort of pulling all this stuff out. I'm gonna bury it in some mulch, and if I don't like it, I'll take it out then. Here's a little view of what we got here. And there's the damage that was done. That's all the liripe and some of the other stuff that came out. Didn't show you earlier. The other tool I had to go back and get was a really nice sharp pair of scissors. That's what I used to cut the liripe out with. Be careful, watch your fingers. That thing will take them off or do some real good damage to them. Depends on how hard and heavy you use them. All right. Hello there. Let's revisit this Juncus dark grass. Well, I call it a grass. It's probably not a grass. So here, I didn't mention this earlier, but when it comes to pruning this, I saw someone, they don't just cut it back like you do an ornamental grass. You don't cut it down to 6 inches, 12 inches, and just give it a flat top. Or at least that's the way this person did it. And I'm gonna try that method, but what they were using was like a metal comb, heavy duty comb brush type thing with stiff tines on it. I don't have one of those, but what I decided to do was go get the leaf rake. And if you'll look at these 3, I just went to town on it with the leaf rake and just raked it from the outside all around, the inside all around. And you'll notice, maybe the camera's picking it up, some of the little white dots in there. That's where some of the old broke off, which is exactly kind of what I wanted. Maybe not perfect. Ideally, I'd like for some of those brown growth, the older brown growth, just to come out. And I think that's what was really working better with the metal comb as opposed to the rake that I just used. But I'm not unhappy about this. So if you'll notice with these 3, now the one in the back there is still kind of wispy. But the two up here aren't quite as wispy. A little bit fewer blades there coming up into the air. But if we turn this way and look at these three, especially these two, back up a little bit here, definitely more wispier. These I have not raked and tried to thin out. So let's do that right now and see how they look. All right, these three here now are done. Didn't get quite as thin as I thought it might be. There's a lot of brown still in this one, but you can see probably maybe the white dots with the broken blades there. You can see here on the stepping stone the aftermath of what came out. Yeah, again, this will just get blown into the beds here and covered up with the mulch. Here's a good close-up one of this one. Let's step over here. And then this one was the one that I tried to thin out last year and sort of relocate, and I kind of gave up on it. It really takes a good hold into this as it grows. Didn't want to move. So, and then I noticed I've got a variegated liripe over here I need to give a haircut to. Might have a few others scattered in here that I forgot about. All right, but that's what we do. Thin out the Juncus dart as it gets ready to flush out with its spring growth, instead of cutting it back to a certain height and giving it a flat top. Keep it a little more, keep it with a bushy look. All right, for the rest of the yard here going around the house, I'm not going to go bed by bed, plant by plant, telling you what everything is. Just going to show you the before here and then the after. But boy, look at this. We already have buds popping out on the candy corn spirea, just as I said I wasn't going to do plant by plant. And we got a few golden rocket barberry buds. I'm not going to prune the orange rocket barberry back. I'm going to leave it like it is. Because yeah, I'm just kind of experimenting with that. I'm going to leave it alone this year. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I mean, we've already got buds here. I'm going to let the candy corn spirea do its own thing. I am going to prune back the Russian sage that I haven't done in a couple of years. Just come around here real quick. This is going to look very different because these things are so dormant and so big. They're going to get cut down to the ground, and it'll look a little sparse in here when I do that. I'm not going to touch the snow white loropetalums. Clean up the catmint over here. Two different varieties. That's the chartreuse on the loose down there. We'll cut back the grasses. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that too now in this bed. Got some grasses here. I just don't know what's happened to them. Got the fescue, trying to show a little color. And then I can't remember what that is back there behind it. It's struggling. We'll prune all this back. There's candy corn spirea in here as well as the orange rocket, mirroring both sides. I'm not going to cut those back. I'm gonna leave those alone. And then we've got this section here. Got a lot back here to cut back, clean up. Big Russian sage, two of them there. Need some control on them. The Rosalinda blueberries. You could eat the blueberries on those, but they're not grown for the berries. They're grown for their ornamental nature. You can see the color they're putting off right now. Two are struggling. One is defying the odds back there. I don't know why. I don't know why they're struggling, but I got to clean those up. They've got some dead branches on some of them there, dead halves on each one that we're looking at right now to the right half is dead. So I'm gonna prune those back. Gotta prune back the Peach Perfect, Abelia back there. Won't do anything right now to the Japanese maple. We'll give the oregano. This is regular oregano here, green oregano. We'll cut that back, cut those stems down out of it. And back there is the golden oregano. It'll color up here shortly as it starts to get warmer and the days get longer. Don't know really how much. Oh yeah, we got the salvias, cone flowers need cutting back in here. Oh gosh, look at the deer. The deer have come and devastated that honeysuckle right there. It's deer or rabbits, I don't know which one it is. They come in here at night. There's salvia back there. It needs to be trimmed back. There's a rock canyon, something abelia. It needs to be trimmed back a little bit. I think I may go ahead and trim back these grasses now. This bed is just a struggle. I think it's mainly because this crepe myrtle is so dominant. It just sucks all the water out of here. There's lots of roots in here. It's just been tough to get something to establish in here and grow with the crepe myrtle. Trying to remember, what was that? I don't remember what it was, but boy, the deer love it. They ate it down to the ground. Hopefully it'll come back. There's a nice, happy, variegated liripe back there. I need to trim that up. That's the rock canyon, something canyon abelia. Gotta get that thing trimmed up. It blooms on new growth, so I'll cut that back. The orange mop will not get pruned back this year. I pruned it last year, I believe. Pruned it pretty good. It was super shaggy. Now it's just a tiny bit shaggy. That's one thing to remember. That when you cut it back, it may not. It's hard to remember from year to year how much it pops back out. Got another vine down here. I think this is Kinsley's Ghost honeysuckle, maybe. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to call out plant names. I was just going to show you the before and after, but can't help myself. The deer have nibbled away on that as well. A couple of things back here that need some attention. Of course, this trailing rosemary is loving it. It is exceeding its normal limits. It's going to take some control to get that thing go back into the bed there behind that bed line. And then there's some things back here that need to be trimmed up. All right, and that may be it for today. We'll see how much further we get. All right, hey there. Hello there, current or future homeowner. So I made my way all the way around to the front. This is up against the garage area. And we have 3, I think they're Bigfoot Clearas. I know they're Clearas, I'm not sure exactly what the subspecies or name of them, common name is. These were put in by the builder, but we've got 3 there. I've already hacked away at the first one and cut a few branches out of the second one. I haven't touched the third one yet. This is everything that came out of the first one. A lot of stuff there. You'll notice super long, very tall, thin at the bottom. So what I did was I found those pieces that were sticking up tall, but I didn't just cut them right there at the, where the rest of the mass of the plant is. I followed them down into the bush and cut them off inside where they're coming up from. So that helps take out the big stuff that's just shooting straight for the sky, and leaves the rest of the bushier stuff, smaller growing stuff currently, to where it looks like it really hasn't been pruned yet. Now I'm not done. I'm gonna clean that one up a little bit more. Still haven't touched the third one, and I got that one there that I need to do something with. But just wanted to show you what we've got there. It's a good bit of stuff there off the first one, 2 branches off the middle one, and more to go. All right, getting close to the wrap up. We have made it all the way around the house today. As you can see, I have pruned the abelia here, giving it probably the hardest pruning it's had. This was original to the house, 2018. It's 2026. 8 years old. Here's some of what was cut off of it. And then the rest of it is right back there. I'm not leaving this. It's there until I pick it up and put it in the yard cart and haul it off. This is so big and it's still so green, it won't break up very well and allow me to just like compost it in place. So yeah, I'm fixing to haul this off. So let's take a look at the finished results of the clay era. You know, I could have cut them back more, but that's all I wanted to do right now. And then that's how much we got off the first one. That's how much we got off the second one. And that's how much we got off the third one. So I'll swing it back around. There's another abelia that I cut back hard. And then there you go. So that takes care of the front of the garage for now.